Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to another episode on the Coin King channel. I had no plans on going live today, and this is just going to be a quick video just covering Bitcoin's weekly time frame. And the title of this video is the 60 EMA Bitcoin's weekly time frame secret. So we're just going to be looking back here at what I consider the most important EMA on the weekly chart, and that is the 60 EMA. Taking a look at some bearish outcomes here for Bitcoin on the weekly when it comes to the 60 EMA. So we look here and we can see back in September 2011, Bitcoin price action comes down. It interacts with the 60 EMA. And from there, it takes a tumble down, almost about a 62% correction further down. We move forward here to where Bitcoin price action interacts with the 60 EMA again, and that's 2014. So April 2014, Bitcoin price action comes down, taps into the 60 EMA. It gets a small correction up, so it puts in a lower high, comes back to the 60 EMA, and then it proceeds to fall about 66% lower. Move a little bit further here. Okay. February of 2018, Bitcoin price action comes down, taps the 60 EMA, gets a small bit of a correction here for a lower high, and it does the exact same thing. So the pattern continues to repeat. Whenever Bitcoin's price action comes down and taps into the 60 EMA, you're likely to see a small correction for a lower high and then continuation move to the downside. Again, here, December 2019, Bitcoin price, actually we'll move that back here. We'll take this one and we'll set it here. So October 2019, Bitcoin price action comes down, interacts with the 60 EMA. It does push down a little bit further, gets a bit of a bounce, and then it comes back to the 60 EMA again. So again, another lower high, falls back to the 60 EMA, and then we see a drop from there about 51%. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Here's where things start to change up a little bit. So May 2021, Bitcoin price action comes down, taps into the 21 EMA. So we start to consolidate here for several weeks before we finally do something different. Before we were putting in these lower highs, and we almost got that right here. We put in the lower high, but we continue higher. So now Bitcoin's price action is putting in a higher high, comes back to the 60 EMA, puts in that lower high here, and then that continuation down. And this time we drop about 63%. Fast forward. We can say the first time it taps into it is May 2023. But in 2023, Bitcoin price action comes down after we've had this massive rollover here. And now we're trying to push higher. This is where the disbelief comes into the market. So we come down, we tap the 60 EMA. We don't roll over as much because this is the disbelief phase here. We get a little bit of a bounce. We come back, we tap it again. We only get a small correction here, and then we push up. At this time, we have ETFs. We have a new president coming in, and we're starting to get a little bit more clarity in terms of the crypto market. Bitcoin was never like a big catalyst in terms of the SEC, but nonetheless, we're starting to see these changes take place. So Bitcoin price action comes down, taps the 60 EMA here, August 2024, and then we see this major pump up, 122% to the upside here. We're no longer putting in the lower high, and we're no longer coming back the second time, rejecting to go further down after tapping into the 60 EMA. So here we do it again, April 2025, and we get this push up. So now we're doing only about a 50% correction high. So can we continue to do this? Will Bitcoin's price action come back down, interact with the 60 EMA, continue this newfound change, or will we go back to what we've seen prior, taps the 60 EMA, puts in a lower high, and then price starts to roll over. So the consistency in the rollover has been about a 60% correction, which is not something that I think that I see happening with Bitcoin. So I'm going to move over to our monthly chart. We're talking about the weekly. I'm going to move over to our monthly chart. So we can see we've been in this ascending broadening formation pattern here on Bitcoin. Now, if you go to your logarithmic chart, and I'm not going to do that right now, but if you plot a trend line across here, then you'll see that Bitcoin's price action is respecting these highs up here, right? But with the ascending broadening formation, this tells me that Bitcoin, if we're not going to come back down and tap the 60 EMA right now, that we have a lot more room to run to the upside before we see such a correction take place. Thus far, we've held up very, very well. Now, the 60 EMA is also going to be the driver here on your monthly time frame as well. So you can see, let me put this back on auto as I scroll through here. So you can see you tap the 60, you bounce away. So the monthly time frame gives you a clearer vision of tapping into the 60 and holding it. So your 60 EMA there, bounce. 60 EMA here, bounce. 60 EMA here, we did spill over just a little bit more before we got that leg up. So this was a little bit different here. One of the first times that Bitcoin's price action actually crossed below the 60 EMA, but it was a quick reclaim. I mean, a couple of months here, you drop your ending diagonal right here, and then price rallies up. So now we see where the 60 EMA is sitting on the monthly time frame. Now, if we continue to push higher, of course, the monthly 60 EMA will start to rise a little bit more. But right now, we'll say about $52,000. Just to be fair, that is where the 60 EMA is sitting. So if we start to roll over, this is where we can look for price action to come back to, this 60 EMA. Now I'm going to share one other thing here because I was looking at this. I'm gonna leave, let's say, I'm going to turn these off here. Well, not the 60. And turn off my 6. So you can see the EMAs that I tend to use. 6. Actually, I have it set for 5. I have it set right now. It's set for 5, 10, 26, 60, 200, 400, and 1,000. So if you go back to your weekly time frame, you can use the 1,000. That is generally where Bitcoin price action would pump. If we were just say in a bear market, it would get down as low as to 1,000 EMA, and then it will bounce from there. But on your monthly time frame, if you want something that's a lot simpler, just slap on that 60 EMA and look for price action to come back somewhere in there. And that's also like your, I believe that is going to be like your 618 and 786. That is the typical retracement in a bear market for Bitcoin price action. And if I'm wrong on that, it's your 786 and your 0.886. So it retraces to the platinum pocket. All right. So here, and I'm just going to put this on here. And this is my BB% Bollinger Band here. So price rarely will, again, coming back here into the 60 EMA. So if we were to roll over, then this is the zone that we'll be looking at. So that's about 56,200 to about 37,006. And that is just to compensate for this. Like we've only done that one time so far where we actually rolled down lower than the 60 EMA. So if that was to happen, then you would just take into account that 37,000 in a bear market for Bitcoin price action. Are we there yet? To be honest with you, I don't think that we are. I don't think that we're there just yet where we're going to see this big rollover for Bitcoin. We haven't even come back down here to the lower bounds of this ascending trend line here. So we need to see that happen first. But so far, very little interaction with the lower bounds here. If I take a look at the 3-month time frame, you can also see that. So the 3-month time frame, it puts you exactly down here around the 35,000. And you can see historically here, it tends to respect somewhere around the top side here. So there is another trend line that you can apply that goes along here, along the bottom side here, to look for a pullback in the event that we're in a bear market. Now you have better signals here where you can see it gave the this is it, boom. This is it, boom. This is it, boom. And we got a this is it right here. So that would be my only hang up. We got a this is it. And it's such a high time frame. It's 3 months. This could be it. This could be it. It has worked previously. Respect, respect, respect. So that's it. This is just a quick video, not here to scare anybody or anything like that. I just want you to be informed of levels that you can watch and things that you can use at your own discretion. So slap on that 60 EMA and let's see if Bitcoin price action comes down and it continues to respect it. That's all I got for today. Be sure you hit that like button. Be sure you hit the like button. Thank you. It's your girl, Down the Crypto TA, signing out. I will post this information on my X account, so be sure you're following me at Down the Crypto TA. Be sure you're following the Coin King. That's DACOINKING. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday, royal family. Peace.